right, as we continue to celebrate Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and here in our community, we take you to Westerville tonight.
We sure do. City leaders there are trying to resurrect a piece of Westerville history that takes us back 60 years. The building was hard to miss.
Definitely remember it back in the day. Driving by and was like, what's that? And I remember the bamboo.
Adam Williams never imagined his role as forestry manager for Westerville would come full circle decades later. What do you think this is?
You got me.
These are some of the last remaining pieces of the Shinto shrine before it was torn down in 2004. There are more, but the hope is to incorporate as many originals into the new temple.
It just looks like some fancy joinery. I mean, I've never really seen anything quite like that.
The shrine was added in 1964 as part of the Kyoto Tea House, which Westerville residents George and Opal Henderson had built years before. The shrine was never consecrated for religious purposes, but instead used for tours so kids and adults could learn about a culture they barely understood. George was a U.S. Army intelligence officer and had lived in Japan during and after World War II. He had the shrine built in Okinawa without any nails and shipped every piece to Westerville.
It's a love story of a family who loved their culture and brought it and introduced it to Westerville.
Krista Dickey runs Westerville's community affairs. She says rebuilding the shrine will bridge the two cultures for a new generation, which will honor the ones that came before, like Karen Jobu.
It was like going to a little museum.
Karen was 2 years old when her family got sent to an internment camp during the war. The American-born Japanese eventually relocated to Central Ohio. She says the old Shinto shrine broke down prejudices, and it's time, she says, to make sure history doesn't repeat itself.
To start the tours again, I think that's what I would want.
There are 3 potential sites for the new shrine. Astronaut Grove on West Main Street in Westerville is one of them. And if you look closely, cherry trees are drawn into the pathway, which is what Adam and his team hope to successfully grow by the time the shrine vision becomes a reality.
These cherry trees are some of the original Taft cherry, Yoshino cherry cuttings that originated from Japan.
They were a gift from Japan in 1912 to then President William Howard Taft and the First Lady, who were from Ohio. Westerville hopes these layers of love will bridge the past and present into the future.
In order to preserve the history, I think it's a must-have.
And there's much more to this story. Next week, we'll show you how a mosaic from the old Shinto shrine still stands today in the very exact corner of Westerville. Now, if you'd like to give the city your input, there are 2 opportunities coming up in June. They are the 13th and 17th at the Community Center. City leaders are welcoming as much public engagement as possible.